Welcome to the newest episode of the Rice Crypto Show. If you're watching this on replay, fast forward about 4 minutes, maybe 4 minutes, 20 seconds. Give me a 5x5. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. They won't even notice that this is happening until it's too late.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Thank you for tuning in for today's live stream. We are about to get things started here in just moments. It is St. Patrick's Day. And in honor of the lizard people, let me get myself prepared here. Have you ever seen a St. Patty's Day Puff the Magic Dragon? Because I am in the house. Thank you for tuning in for today's episode of the Rice Crypto Show. Again, it is St. Patrick's Day, so I'm the Puff the Magic Dragon, and I'm also paying homage to the lizard people because I heard through the grapevine that the YouTube algorithm favors the lizards. We're going to go ahead and get today's show started. Make sure you smash that like button and make sure you are subscribed here at Rice TVX and my other channel, Rice Against the Grain. Before we get into it, take time to visit my website at ricetvx.com. There you can sign up for my mailing list so you can stay up to date on all things rice. Once you've signed up for my mailing list, you will find links for my channels and socials towards the top of the website. Make sure you are subscribed to both of my YouTube channels, Rice Against the Grain and Rice TVX. If you want to support my work directly, as well as get early access, exclusive content for both channels, plus more, join my Patreon. And as always, before we begin, a few quick messages of the sponsors of Rice TVX who make it possible for me to do this thing full time. You can always find information in every video description for Pre-Search and Monarch Wallet. I am a hot-natured person, and I will say wearing this thing is uncomfortable. I wore it a couple years ago on Halloween. It was the year 2019, and I was with my friend Ken Bozak, and we were in Las Vegas on the Strip, and all I can say is LSD. Very interesting night. It was Ken Bozak's birthday. Great memories. That's where this thing came from. So I appreciate everybody for taking the time to tune in for today's video. Let me go ahead and get everything set up so we can get this thing rolling. Now, what I want to say, first of all, this video kind of combines a little bit of my UCC law and crypto worlds kind of coming together here, oddly enough. This is all about the Uniform Commercial Code. And there's an amendment that's being done on state levels that's being introduced that will redefine money that will not include Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And this is for business transactions and commerce. But it would include central bank digital currencies. So I had originally found out about this from watching Tucker Carlson. I don't normally watch Tucker Carlson, but the headline of the video caught my attention. So I grabbed that video. I'm going to be sharing that here in just a moment. Before I do, I want to go ahead and come to the live chat, see what we got in the house. After I'm done with sharing everything on today's video, I'll come back to the live chat. I do appreciate everybody for taking the time to tune in. Make sure you do take time to smash that like button. It does help out. And hopefully, since I'm wearing the lizard gear, hopefully the algorithm will favor me once, because it never favors me. So again, make sure you guys are smashing that like button. It'd be greatly appreciated. So what I want to do real quick is share this video. It is an interview that Tucker Carlson did with the governor of South Dakota. Her name is Kristi Noem, and she vetoed this bill. As far as I'm aware, she's the only politician, governor, who has even mentioned this and brought this to national attention. I did a video last week, about a week and a half ago, that said, what if I told you? Talking about right wing, left wing, same bird. Left wing, right wing, same bird. But I said not all politicians are corrupt. There's a few good ones out there. I don't know enough about Governor Noem, but I really appreciate what she did, bringing this to national attention. After I saw this, I did a little bit more digging. So after I share the video, I'll go ahead and share all the information from my digging up. Just a little bit of digging, you can find some information. You might be surprised. So bear with me 1 second. I want to get rid of this thing on the screen so that I can share this video. I want to go full screen with this video and mute myself. And we'll let it play through all the way. And then we're going to come back to sharing some information in just one moment. So here we go.
In the banking sector, the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank has a lot of Americans concerned about how to protect their money. And of course, politicians are using that concern to their advantage as always. Several states are now trying to centralize currency with a so-called central bank digital currency, which is, by the way, not currency at all. It's software. But they're going to do it for your own good. Obviously, this is a tool of total social control. If they control your money, if they can zero out your bank account with a keystroke, then you have no autonomy. They control you. Well, in the state of South Dakota, legislators just passed a bill that would have changed the definition of money to exclude cryptocurrency, and that would put the state on a path to centralized digital currency. South Dakota's governor, Kristi Noem, the only governor we're aware of who's paying attention to this, vetoed that bill. She joins us tonight to explain why. Governor, thank you very much for doing this first and for coming on. Why did you do it? You're obviously under pressure not to veto it, but you did. Why did you?
Well, Tucker, it was the right thing to do. I became aware of this bill. It wasn't introduced until almost halfway through our legislative session. We started reading through this bill that was over 110 pages long. It was sold as an update to the guidelines of the Universal Commercial Code, backed by all of our financial institutions, our banks. As we started reading through it, we saw the section of the bill that changed the definition of currency. And essentially what it did was pave the way for a government-led CBDC, and it also banned any other form of cryptocurrency or Bitcoin or digital currency that existed. So for me, it very clearly was a threat to our freedom. In South Dakota, we are the session that completes its business earliest in the year. We are the first ones to really look at this bill and find out the truth of what's in it. And I did veto that bill. I'm asking my legislators to change their minds, to make the right decision and help me kill this bill once and for all. But I'm telling you, Tucker, we've got the same language coming to over 20 other states. I believe it's to pave a way for the federal government to control our currency and thus control people. It should be alarming to everyone, and it's being sold as a UCC guidelines update. There's no rush to do this. We need to be smart and make sure that we're doing what we can to protect people. I find it ironic that we also are having this discussion at the same time we have banks and credit card companies talking about coding gun and ammunition in a separate code so they can track it. So not only can they tie these two issues together, if the government doesn't approve of what you're purchasing, if they have the only form of digital currency out there and that is endorsed and utilized in the country, they can control how you spend that money and thus take away all your freedom.
So nicely put, and I don't think you're overstating at all the significance of this. Really quickly, do you think, and you want to give everyone the benefit of the doubt on their motives, but do you think that legislators in your state understand what this bill was actually designed to do?
I don't know if they read it, Tucker. That's what is alarming to me, is it was over 110 pages long, and they were told by lobbyists that they had listened to for the last 20 years that it's fine. It's just a regulation update. This is what we do, is adopt federal regulations. But if you start reading it, you see in there is a redefinition of currency, that it says government CBDCs are okay if they're run by the government, but any other form is then banned. It is clearly a change for how people's assets are utilized. It clearly limits the freedom of people to use other forms of currency that they may choose to if it is a digital currency. And it is clearly putting power into the hands of government. If anything we should have learned the last several years is the government can't be trusted. Bill Tucker, what I was surprised by was that, the bills that have made it to my desk this year, people think about South Dakota being conservative and being a very Republican state. The first bill I had to veto was a tax increase. Now this has made it to my desk. We've got other challenges as well.
I really hope that what you've done inspires other governors. Appreciate your coming on tonight. Governor Kristi Noem of South Dakota, thank you.
All right, everybody, let me know if my mic sounds better. I realized apparently it was using the wrong mic. Somebody in the chat said something, and that might have been trying to go through and look, because I appreciate you for saying something. I would not have known, and I would have been pissed. I'll go through the comments because I was going to highlight everybody who joins. So thank you for tuning in for today's Lizard episode, brought to you by today's sponsor, and that sponsor is the great ITM Trading. So make sure you take advantage of this free strategy phone call. It's for Rice TVX viewers and subscribers. You get a free phone call, strategy call about gold and silver to protect yourself. I've talked about this numerous times on numerous shows. I'm going to go through the comments, and then I want to share a quick video. And then it's like a 30-second video you might have already seen. And then I'm going to share other information about this UCC BS. Andy Lee, thank you for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Kang, thanks for joining. B Chad, good seeing you in the house. Dime Bar, as a pleasure as always. Mr. Paulie P, good seeing you. I noticed that you said you were driving, so be careful out there, man. But yeah, good seeing you, man. Hit me up. Let me know when you're going to be home. Let me know when you're going to be back in North Carolina. Vlad Daskula, Crypto King says, see the TG clip before it's taken down. Send me a link on Telegram, if you don't mind, if that's what you're assuming. I'll check my messages when I'm done. Rice the Druid. I'm the Puff the Magic Dragon, the St. Patrick's Day Dragon, paying homage to the lizard people. The lizard peoples. Gary Guzzler, thanks for tuning in. I love what you had to say there. Crypto King says, even bigger is the ULC bunch of blank, 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 as usual. Yes, sir. Howdy. Good seeing you, Melissa Mouse. Tricky Creations in the house. Good seeing you as always. Gulag, thank you. You're the one who told me about my audio input. And let me just double check going into my audio settings. And it does say it's using my Shure mic. But as I make my way down, I'm sure I will see the correction. There was a guy named Fort that was in a comment being a jackass, talking about asking people to smash that like button and saying I said it too much. So I put you in timeout. I don't care if you watch the channel. I'm not here for you specifically. So if you don't like my content, you can always tune out, my friend. I'm glad you got to catch a live stream, Melissa. I will be live on Sunday at 1:00 p.m. on Rights Against the Grain with Ethan Lucas. The biggest cheerleader for CBDC now is in the majority of the House. Just FYI, I agree. Liked and shared. Thank you. We're definitely at a WTF moment in history. And definitely do so. Bernard Macarius, holy smokes, I agree with a Fox guest. Yeah, and I don't usually watch Fox. I don't usually watch Tucker Carlson. I watched his interview that he did with Russell Brand because of some of the things that Russell Brand has been saying. But this caught my attention, and I thought it was very important information. I just heard a weird pop. So hopefully everything is good with my sound. Dime Bar said he thought it was his speaker. Sounds good. Sound is good. Awesome. Sounds better. Hey, Rice, Monica Jones, good seeing you in the house. Jeremy Baird from Australia. Good seeing you. I will come back to the chat here in just a moment. So bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I got some information scrolling across the bottom of the screen with the 866 number and a couple different links where you can schedule your gold and silver strategy call with ITM Trading. Going to share this video, and then we'll come back with all the articles that I have for today's video, which, as always, are linked down below in the video description. I also wanted to share that I have recently partnered up with ITM Trading. So if you want to schedule a gold and silver strategy call to build your wealth shield and support Rice TVX, be sure to use my specific landing page that you see on the screen, and I will also include custom Calendly links and an 800 number that you can utilize to schedule your strategy call with the ITM Trading professionals. And again, it is a way to support Rice TVX. All right, thank you for taking that moment here to let me share that information of ways that you can support the channel and look out for yourself at the same damn time. So this article comes from Cointelegraph. It was put out on March 10th, 2023. Saying the South Dakota governor vetoes bill excluding crypto from definition of money. As we read here, the bill criticized by many conservatives proposed amending the state's Uniform Commercial Code to specifically exclude digital assets with the possible exception of CBDCs. You can read through the rest of this article. It does point to a tweet that I'm going to share here in just a moment with some information shared from the office of the governor. There's also some more information in here that you can definitely do a deeper dive. I'm not sharing everything in its entirety, but I did want to share these articles so that you could do a deeper dive. And if you find this video to be alarming, make sure you share this content with other people because this needs to get out. I've talked so much about people needing to get involved politically, whether it's running for politics or whether it's communicating with your constituents who are supposed to be representing your vote. Because ultimately, your state legislatures are the ones who pass this thing through to get to the governor, and then the governor can pass it through or the governor can veto it. So, and again, this is very, very, very alarming. So this is the actual tweet from Governor Kristi Noem. I have returned HB 1193 with my veto. The bill adopts a definition of money to specifically exclude cryptocurrencies, but these revisions do include central bank digital currencies as money. These developments concern me for several reasons, which are found in this letter. So if you look at this tweet, you can find all the information that she's sharing in this letter. But what she's saying is it wants to adopt a definition of money to specifically exclude cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin as well as other digital assets. At the same time, these UCC revisions include central bank digital currencies as money. And these developments concern me for several reasons. Bear with me one moment. Got to get something situated on screen. And then we will go ahead and finish continuing. All right, so here we go. First, by expressly excluding cryptocurrencies as money, it would become more difficult to use cryptocurrencies. By needlessly limiting this freedom, HB 1193 would put South Dakota citizens at a business disadvantage. Second, by defining money in this proposed way, it opens the door to the risk that the federal government could more easily adopt a central bank digital currency, which then may become the only viable digital currency. At this moment in time, such a government-backed electronic currency has not been created. It would be imprudent to create regulations governing something that does not yet exist. Most importantly, South Dakota should not even open the door to potential future overreach by the federal government. The UCC provides uniform model provisions for commercial and banking law. You can read the rest there. The next article I have comes from Investopedia, and it's just really simple. If you want to do a deeper dive about what the UCC is, again, if you watch my Stranger Than Fiction content now over on my new channel, Rice Against the Grain, and you're into the legal fiction law studies, you'll be familiar with the UCC. Uniform Commercial Code is a standardized set of laws and regulations for transacting business. The UCC code was established in 1953 because it was becoming increasingly difficult for companies to transact business across state lines given the various state laws. Now, in theory, that sounds good, trying to make laws the same so that you can do commerce through states easier because of difference in law. The UCC is important since it helps companies in different states to transact with each other by providing a standard legal and contractual framework. The UCC laws have been fully adopted by most states in the U.S., although there are some very slight variations from state to state. The UCC code consists of 9 separate articles. The UCC articles govern various types of transactions, including banking and loans. You'll see I highlighted one thing, but these are the key takeaways, and then you can read the rest. The Uniform Commercial Code is a set of business laws that regulate financial contracts and transactions employed across states. The UCC code consists of 9 separate articles, each of which covers separate aspects of banking and loans. Companies that conduct business transactions outside their home state must comply with the Uniform Commercial Code. The UCC code has been fully adopted by most states and adopted slightly by others. Now, this is the alarming thing. The Uniform Commercial Code, the UCC, was not established through Congress, but rather by private organizations. You can read how the UCC works. You can read about the different articles, the history, special considerations, blah, blah. And I'm not going to say another one because some people say that means 3 different numbers, or one number 3 times after 5. So anyways, this article comes from Norton Rose Fulbright, bringing the UCC into the digital age, review of the 2022 UCC amendments and controllable electronic records. I'm going to take a moment here really quick just to make sure that everything is good. John Rimmer, I need to address my hairline. I appreciate that. Thank you, my friend. My hairline is nuts. Is this it's really funny when people take time to actually just try to be negative towards other people in regards to things. I'm completely happy with my head, my hair. I'm about to be 48 years old and I look damn good, and I'd love to see your hairline, my friend, but it is what it is. If you keep being rude, I'm just going to put you in timeout. So that's what happens, man. And I got to pay my homage to the lizard people. And it looks like it's working. I've got 52 live viewers. That's great, man. So somehow this thumbnail that I created and wearing this Puff the Magic Dragon outfit seems to be helping out with view count. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to start doing my shows in some lizard attire or some reptile attire. I don't know, but seems to be working. I do appreciate you guys tuning in. Now, the thing that I want you guys to take away from this article right here, and there's a lot to this. So if you really want to do a deep dive about this to get a really full understanding without actually reading all the language from the UCC directly, this gives a really good breakdown of things. Talking about the proposed amendments aim to establish ground rules, and it makes everything sound good from this article. So don't be deceived by this article. The proposed UCC amendments aim at establishing ground rules for transferring property rights and digital assets, notably cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ether stablecoins and non-fungible tokens, NFTs, and in particular setting up a regulatory framework to use such assets as collateral and secure transactions. So that's what it's talking about for the first part. Then they're talking about the Article 12 and the importance of control. So they have this redefining of CERs, which CERs are controllable electronic records. The amendment also modifies Article 9 to clarify the procedures for attachments and perfection of security interest in controllable electronic records. Now, there was something, let me see where it was in this article. And it may not have been in this article. It may have just been directly on the UCC website, but they go through the Article 9 on secure transactions. I was seeing if it said something about money. There is a conclusion. But again, this article right here is very much written in a perspective that's pro to the UCC, not saying anything, ringing any alarms. Oh, I did highlight something. What I highlighted was as of this article, and this conflicts with the actual website, but it says as of this article, Iowa, Indiana, Nebraska, and New Hampshire have adopted legislation to give effect to these UCC amendments. That may mean that it has not gone through and gotten signed by the governor, but it's passed through certain channels of legislature. Then other states such as Idaho, Kentucky, Wyoming, and Tennessee have enacted their own non-UCC amendments aimed at regulating the transfer of digital assets. I have not looked into Idaho, Kentucky, Wyoming, or Tennessee to see what the language consists of. I just wanted to kind of get the basic information out here with enough nuggets that you guys can do deeper dives, that there's enough basic information for people to share with others so that we can ring the alarm bell, contact our state legislatures, your governors in these particular states, because it's not every state so far that these are being introduced in. So this comes directly from the UCC website. I'm going to double check everything on my screen to make sure everything is good to go. It looks like everything is all right. All right, so this again comes directly from the UCC website. And I don't know why I had it scroll down. So, but this is for the 2022 amendments. And it goes into, it has an enactment kit, final act documents, legislative bill tracking, and committee archive. There's a map, there's a bill list, there's a summary, and there's an enactment history. If you look at this list, this is the enactment map, meaning introduced. So we have, if I go over each state, it looks like it's going to be really slow to try to give me all the information here. But if you're looking at this map, I'm pretty sure you can tell if you live in one of these states. If you live in one of these states that are green, you need to get in communication with the politicians in your state legislatures, your governor. You need to write to your governor, the legislatures. You need to call their offices. You need to let them know about this UCC amendment, what it's trying to do and restrict, and how much power it would give to the federal government. And I can't say that all states are going to want to do that, because you see that Governor Noem had vetoed the bill. So as we scroll down, it gives a description. The description talks about addressing emerging technologies, providing updated rules for commercial transactions involving virtual currencies, distributed ledger technologies, including blockchain, artificial intelligence, and other technological developments. These amendments span almost every article of the UCC and add a new Article 12 addressing certain types of digital assets defined as controllable electronic records, or CERs. The amendments provide new default rules to govern transactions involving these technologies and clarify the UCC's applicable that word just fucked me up. Applicability to mixed transactions involving both goods and services. The amendments also contain some miscellaneous revisions unrelated to the technological developments, but providing needed clarification. I hope that was some good comedy relief for you guys. So we have 24 states where it's being introduced. There are no enactments at this time, is what it says. It gives a little bit of some describer information here. Create new UCC Article 12, update Article 9, to allow perfection of securities, interests, and digital assets, new rules for mixed transactions involving both goods and services. Boring shit. I mean, again, this is why people probably didn't even read this bill. Just like the Governor Noem said, she doesn't even think the people read the bill before they passed it to get to her. Update rules for electronic negotiable instruments, updated terminology to account for electronic signatures and documents. More just BS. But as you scroll down, you'll see the legislative tracking information. Now, the next thing that I had pulled up was the summary. So if we go directly to the summary, and this is, again, all linked down below. You can read all the specific information in the act summary. It gives a lot of detailed information, and I'm going to say it's not the most exciting thing to read. But again, that's by design. If they make things not exciting to read, people aren't going to read them. They're going to pass the legislation through because some lobbyist told them, no, it's just regular old updates. And then what they've done is they've essentially given a tool of total social control, as Tucker Carlson actually said, a tool of total social control. So the one thing that I wanted to point out in this particular summary would be under, I thought it was more, yeah, it's under tangible and electronic money. So here's what it says. And I can't highlight it, unfortunately. What the hell did I just do?
I don't have to click back onto summary when this pulls up. This isn't even the right thing, is it? Yes, it is. Okay. So pull up the summary. And where are we at again? It looks like it just changed up the way that that looked. What the hell? Okay, bear with me a moment. Okay, here it is. Tangible and electronic money. By the way, make sure you guys smash that like button if you haven't already. Shout out to Forte if you're still here watching, torturing yourself. Shout out to my awful hairline too, by the way. So, we're almost done. Tangible and electronic money. Money is defined under the UCC as a medium of exchange authorized by a domestic and foreign government and was presumed under many UCC rules to exist only in tangible form. Recently, some countries' central banks have proposed creating virtual currencies to supplement or replace traditional forms of money. And at least 2 countries that have adopted the virtual currency Bitcoin as an alternative form of legal tender. An amendment to the Article 1 definition of money clarifies that governmentally created forms of money may be tangible or electronic, and that pre-existing virtual currencies like Bitcoin, while they may be a CER, are not money for purposes of the UCC. New amendments in Article 9 provide that a security interest in electronic money, i.e. virtual currency created by a government central bank, like a security interest in a CER, can only be perfected through control. Shadow paper. But see, this is the most important thing that I really wanted people to realize is redefining money. Now, I would argue it's not money, it's currency, but the language that they're using is money. And they're trying to redefine what money is to exclude Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, but include and make way for a central bank digital currency. Now, I want to show you a graphic. I'll be doing more videos on this topic because this topic, in conjunction with everything I just mentioned, will put you in a digital prison. And this comes from the World Economic Forum's website. This is from Davos Agenda 2021, but it's still very, 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 very relevant because the G20 countries have agreed to adopt digital ID. How digital ID can improve the lives in a post-COVID-19 world for the World Economic Forum and their partners. So I'm just going to scroll down to the graphic so you guys can see this. Let me see what happens if I enlarge it just a little bit. And let's see here. We can just do a little full screen action. So digital ID, and this is just kind of, and you can see more graphics that are very, very similar, but digital ID will put you in a digital prison because it will be connected to healthcare, to financial services, to food and sustainability, to travel and mobility, to humanitarian response, to e-commerce, to social platforms, to e-government, to telecommunications, to smart cities. You've heard about the 15-minute cities. If they have their central bank digital currency, this programmable currency, they can put limits on your spending. They can control what you do. And if you're not a good citizen, then they'll just shut you out. And when you combine that with Internet of Things, it is dangerous. It is absolutely terrifyingly dangerous. So I'm going to take time here before we wrap up today's video and look at the live chat comments before we wrap things up. When it's done, I'm telling you, this thing is hot as hell. But it seems like the algorithm is totally digging the reptile thing. Wonder why. Shout out to the lizard people. If you're a lizard person, happen to be watching this, shout out to you. Not really, but yeah. If you're a lizard algorithm, I appreciate you. So again, if you guys if you find this information, I mean, to be serious, if you find this information to be alarming, please share this video. I'm going to be doing deeper dives to find more information as much as I can, but the language is going to be the same. It's uniform commercial code. It's uniform. The language will be the same for all the different states that you saw that had legislation being introduced. And I'll go back to the screen for a moment and show the map one more time so that you can realize 24 out of 50 states, that's right under half of the United States that this legislation has been introduced in. If you're in one of these states, if you're in one of these green states, you need to wake up your governor and your legislators, your politicians. And when you go through this information, oh, here's the other thing I wanted to share. Bill list. You can look at the states where it's been introduced in, and you can look at the people who sponsored them. You can see that they have all been introduced this year. It gives all the different House and state bill numbers. So you have all the information right here on the UCC website. Let's see what happens if you click on this, if you get some more information. No. But at least you have their last name. These are the individuals. Then you can go through like the enactment history. You know, you can see some states here are not even listed. Like I'm in North Carolina. It hasn't been introduced. Surprisingly, it has been introduced in Texas. And surprisingly, it has not been introduced in Florida, which is interesting considering that it's been introduced in Texas. So if you're in one of these green states, again, make sure you're making your politicians, your legislators, your governor aware. If they're not aware and they sign this thing through, then it's enacted. And again, I will preface again, going back to the UCC information. The Uniform Commercial Code was not established through Congress, but rather by private organizations. So that's what's up. All right, let me go ahead real quick and see what we got going on here in the rest of the chat. Again, I do appreciate everybody taking the time to join in on today's live stream. Make sure you're subscribed here at Rice TVX and my other channel, Rice Against the Grain. If you're a fan of the Stranger Than Fiction content, that's where you can find it now. I will be live Sunday at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern time there with Ethan Lucas for episode 43, I believe, of Spirituality of Law. Got a bunch of new videos that I've been uploading over there as well as here. Make sure you're subscribed and smash that like button. And let me see where I left off. Crypto King said, you need to run that clip I sent you on Telegram before it's taken down. Your audience needs to hear that. Let me see what it is. I mean, I got to be able to make sure the language is fine and all that. Make sure it's not something that's going to get my video taken down. And all I see is a Reddit link. Let's see if I go to the Reddit link. Okay. Yeah, I think this will be okay. I appreciate you sharing that, my friend. I'm going to just go ahead and do a screen share with that. So bear with me. Stop that screen share. Let me get this pulled up on this Reddit on my Chrome tab. Share. Oh, hold on. I got to stop that share and reshare because I don't think I shared audio. This can be such a pain in the ass sometimes. Stop screen share. Present. Screen share. Share audio. Okay. Let me know if you can hear this. I want to make sure the volume is up.
Let me start with some of the banking issues we're dealing with on it.
Can you hear?
Will the deposits in every community bank in Oklahoma, regardless of their size, be fully insured now? Are they fully? covered every bank, every community bank in Oklahoma, regardless of the size of the deposit, will they get the same treatment that SVBP just got or Signature Bank just got?
A bank only gets that treatment if a majority of the FDIC board, a supermajority of the Fed board, and I, in consultation with the president, determine that the failure to protect uninsured depositors would create systemic risk and significant economic and financial consequences.
So what is
And
your
we
plan?
made that determination.
Right. So
to
what
these
is
two
your
banks.
plan to keep large depositors from moving their funds out of community banks into the big banks? We have seen the mergers of banks over the past decade. I'm concerned you're about to accelerate that by encouraging anyone who has a large deposit in a community bank to say, we're not going to make you whole, but if you go to one of our preferred banks, we will make you whole at that point.
Look, I mean,
She doesn't know what to say here.
Really not something that we're encouraging.
That is happening right now.
She's good at making statements, but she's not good at responding to questions. It's as if she's not prepared and she's just reading statements that were prepared for her. Unfortunately, she's scrambling here, but I got an article to share to this. So thanks. I appreciate my friend for sharing this.
That is happening because depositors are concerned about the bank failures that have happened and whether or not other banks could also
No, it's
fail.
happening
And
because you're
it's-
fully insured no matter what the amount is. If you're in a big bank, you're not fully insured if you're in a community bank.
Well, you're not fully insured. And
You
the
you
big-
were at Signature and
the
it
big-
just barely met that threshold. You were at Signature.
well, we felt that there was a serious risk of contagion that could have brought down and triggered runs on many banks. And that's something, given that our judgment is that the banking system overall is safe and sound, depositors should have confidence in the system.
We start with some of the banking.
Realized I was muted. I realized, there was not everything that you see is exactly presented as how you see it. I shared a video not too long ago saying it was an FDIC leaked video. And it, in fact, was not a leaked video. It was a public hearing. It's on their website, on the FDIC website. And most of you who watch the channel will be familiar with the video that I'm talking about. I'll play just a quick portion of it, just a quick portion, so you know which video I'm talking about. And I'm going to tell you, this is not a leak at all. This is taking a piece of a conversation out of context. And if you listen to the entirety of the conversation, not that I'm being pro FDIC here, but you got to look at facts for facts. And when people say that something's leaked, and I got to come out and say, look, I put out a video saying that this was a leaked FDIC video and didn't do enough good homework to verify if that was in fact correct. And this is the video I'm talking about.
It should be accessible when people need to know, but I don't think you have much hope of reaching a public that doesn't have a professional need to know.
So that video in particular is not FDIC leak. I'll do a video showing people the full video. I might watch the entire, it's like a 3-hour video, but there's a specific section, I think that's like 40 minutes long, that deals with that topic, that area. And it's, this committee is actually created for the idea of these kind of situations. So it's bringing more attention because of what's happening in the banking system, because we're at the end of this fiat fractional reserve banking scam. And that's why they're trying to usher us into central bank digital currencies. So let me go ahead and share this article. Then I'll come back to the live chat and we'll wrap things up, because I was meaning to already be done with this video. But sometimes things come up and you got to include it and share it, because I was going to share this on another video and I probably still will. But since we shared that video clip, this correlates 100%. And this comes from CNBC, as you can see. CNBC, as you can see, and it says Treasury Secretary Yellen says not all uninsured deposits will be protected in future bank failures, which means that there's going to be future bank failures, which goes back to what I was trying to tell people. Do not leave more in the bank than you need to leave to pay your bills, because it's so much easier for you to go and deposit money as needed than for you to fight to withdraw your funds. Because I've given many examples. If you guys are watching this video and you've had any issues withdrawing any semi-large amount of money from a bank, like let's say $1,000, $5,000, what was your interaction and experience at that bank? It is easier to deposit because you may not be able to withdraw. And I only leave enough in my bank account just to cover basics. I think I have less than $50 in my bank account. I bank with Truist, not that I'm, and they seem to be one of the safer banks. They actually have a reserve, whereas they're not required to. Not a fan of banks, but if you're going to be a bank, at least run your bank right. I have $62.16 in my bank, and if I can't get it, I can afford to lose it. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen told senators that government refunds of uninsured depositors will not be extended to every bank that fails, only those that pose systematic risk to the financial system. So if your bank doesn't have a risk of causing contagion, then they're just going to let it fall. And if you're one of those depositors, you may get screwed because you are an unsecured creditor, is the word for it, as a depositor at a bank. Yellen has been at the center of an emergency program to refund billions of dollars in uninsured deposits held by clients of the failed Silicon Valley Bank and the shuttered Signature Bank. But with markets recovering somewhat, lawmakers were concerned these backstops could become a new norm for big banks, giving too big to fail banks an unfair advantage over community lenders, which again, it just gets rid of local banks, gets rid of your regional banks. Credit unions do not fall under the FDIC. They don't have the same requirements as a regular bank. They are based on their members. So I would think they may be safer. But again, I wouldn't leave anything more in any of these bank accounts than you actually need to pay your bills. Don't save your money in the bank because banks are failing. And it's going to be consolidating. The banks are consolidating down. That is their goal. That's what they've been doing. And ultimately, you're going to have a Federal Reserve account. FedNow is launching. I think the launch date is June or July. They just came out with their announcement. I'm going to be doing a video early next week about FedNow. There's so much to talk about in regards to the central bank digital currencies, the digital ID stuff. And these are things that we really need to be focused on. We really need to be making our voices heard, because if you're silent, you're compliant, and you're basically consenting. And all of this happens because of the consent of the governed. So quit consenting and communicate with your politicians. I don't necessarily want to sit here and tell people to call their politicians, but if we don't get involved and call the politicians in those states, you could be screwed, because the politicians aren't going to read that gibberish of information that's 100 and some odd pages, and they get money from all these lobbyists and lobbying organizations that are paying them to just sign away. And as long as you don't do anything about it, then you are consenting, and you are part of the problem just as much as I would be if I don't do that. So I want to go ahead real quick and check out the live stream comments, and then we're just going to wrap this thing up. I do appreciate everybody for taking the time to tune in for today's live stream, and I hope you enjoyed the Puff the Magic Dragon St. Patty's Day Dragon style action we got going on here on Rice TVX today. So I'm going back down to where we were with the last comments, and then going to scroll back through, and then we are going to be wrapping it up. So again, thank you for tuning in for today's live stream. I greatly appreciate it. Okay, where were we at? We're just gonna go from here. Mr. X, it is good seeing you. New World, hey Rice, everyone's having a great St. Patty's Day. Let's have some parabolic like smashing. Yeah, that'd be great. Smash those like buttons. Yeah, Hair Dude was definitely a jackass, and so was Fort, whatever your name is. Glad to hear it, Mr. Crypto King, my friend. Henry A, appreciate you tuning in. Intrinsic Gamer, awesome to see you, Rice. Thanks for the Spree Baby tip. Spree Baby? Spree Baby? Oh, are we talking about Spore Baby? Yeah. All right. National Party Cat. I love the username. I am a cat person. I just got done watching an hour of you and Jason Crow and Cordell. Make sure you check out all the interviews because I think there's 3 total. And I think I have a playlist in the playlist section. I did 2, one the end of last year and one the beginning of this year. And then one before when the project was launching. Bernard, I will share your channel. Was highly recommended by other streamers I respect. Not disappointed for sure. Very important headline. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that, Bernard. And I appreciate all my different peers who look out and try to promote each other and vet each other. So I appreciate you saying that. There's John Rimmer's comment. You need to deep dive ULC Uniform Law Commission. I'll definitely check that out. Crypto King, send me a message on Telegram with that, with just Uniform Law Commission as a reminder. Appreciate Gary. Thank you. Tiara, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the support. Tricky, you, my hairline when viewed from above. You. Yeah, I mean, my hairline is what it is, man. It is what it is, you know? And it's just a high hairline. Just high. High. It's just a little bit higher. Yeah. So, excuse me. Appreciate my friend. Algorithm Lizard Overlords all warm and fuzzy inside. Faux show. I love the username here, man. And I appreciate that you think my hairline. Somebody is DMing me on Telegram. Oh, Crypto King. I'm going to have to turn my Telegram off so I don't get dings. Okay. Stick, appreciate you tuning in. What's good, my friend? Thank you again, Crypto King. Definitely, luckily, North Carolina isn't one, but I'm still paying attention just in case. Matthew Clark, I appreciate that. Make sure you check out the 3 previous ones. We have 4 conversations in total with Jordan from Waters Above, and he'll be back on in about another 3-4 weeks or so. Jimmy, just saw the thumbnail and clicked. What's this channel about? Well, you're at the right place, my friend. We cover here cryptocurrency, economics, and politics. If you like to go down the rabbit hole of the stranger than fiction, if you like fringe topics, if you're interested in law and legal fiction studies, alternative and hidden history, spirituality, and more, I have another channel, and that's called Rice Against the Grain. Let me throw up a little something. Rice Against the Grain is my other channel. Make sure you subscribe to both. Appreciate you tuning in, Jimmy. I'm glad that the thumbnail grabbed your attention. That means that the algorithm definitely likes lizard people. Gary, we the people seem to be more informed than them, the politicians. Yes, but we got to do what we got to do. It's a dirty job. Someone's got to do it, my friend. Sean Werner, that Filecoin is going to be big, loving it. Something that Filecoin. It is a great project. Storj, STORJ, is very similar, and it's been around a little bit longer. Dime Bar changed the language to fit the history, 1984 style. Definitely. Real ID and social credit system already being implemented in the United States, and no political parasite can stop it. Busy Mountain, good seeing you. My digital ID only controls what I allow. Your digital ID, but their digital ID will be a different story, Busy Mountain, and I appreciate it. And thank you. Gary Guzzler. They can put expiration date on the CBDCs to force you to spend and stimulate the economy. They can. Mr. B. Appreciate. Definitely tune in from the very beginning and make sure you smash that like button. Shout out to the lizards. Shout out to Gary Gensler and Gary's Guzzler. That was a screenshot from the scrapbook. Shit, I'm in Texas. Waking up our neighbors is also important. It is, man. I mean, again, this is just something that's going to slip through that people aren't going to notice. That's literally why I did the thumbnail like I did, because they won't even notice that this is happening until it's too late. All right. So we have a few more comments to go through, and I want to wrap things up. Again, I do appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Tara Spence. Is the UCC going to operate in a constitutional republic? We shall see, but we have to reestablish a constitutional republic first, my friends. Definitely smash them like buttons. Plans on the Wagoner Mini. But freedom, yeah. New World, I'm not looking forward to the day when I go to the store, swipe my card, and have a cashier tell me, sorry, your card has been declined due to your political views. Definitely the death of liberty, and definitely the combination of the CBDC, a digital ID, and social credit is just, like I said, it's digital prison. And they're setting up everything to make that a reality. And if we don't do anything, it's going to happen because they're just going to try to slip that shit through. That's about the video. Okay, cool. Definitely don't leave anything more in the bank than you need to. In all fairness, Janet Yellen lacks the economic experience. She's more than makes up with her extensive knowledge of casserole recipes. Yeah, but wasn't she a former Fed chair as well? And now she's head of Treasury. So she better be knowledgeable in something. I agree. Bitcoin was made for this. And that's why you're seeing Bitcoin right now at the time of being live, $27,312, $27,240. It's up 9% in 24 hours and up 35% in 7 days. People are recognizing it's good to see. Definitely centralized control underway. So it's the tool of total social control, as Tucker Carlson said. Fuck them lizard people. Thinks she was using tally sticks in her youth. That was a good one. I like that. I definitely needed a good laugh. Cause no harm, loss, or injury. These people called the elite need to be brought to the remedy. Sean C. Rice, I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for keeping the match educated on topics like central bank digital currencies. Let's keep fighting the good fight. I appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody taking the time to tune in. Bernard, but Mr. Rice, you must use caution. Smaller amounts, and they drag you to the interrogation room to find out why you need $1,500 cash. Yeah, no, it's insane, man. No, they're not your friends. They're not your friends. The whole system is designed to steal from you. The economy is definitely at a what the fuck WTF moment. Egg prices are so crazy right now. Ordered an omelet for brunch the other day, and 7 girls brought it out with their sparkler. You're such a comedian, man. I got you. I caught you, my friend. I just use it for what I need to. Kevin B, do you think Kraken Bank will actually come through? I'm not sure. I had to do a little bit more digging, honestly. I have to do a little bit more digging, but they do their due diligence. So, Andy Lee, thank you for tuning in. I greatly appreciate Mr. Body Locks. So, is that like puffed rice? Yeah, puffed rice. Good one. Good one, homie. Appreciate everybody for taking the time to tune in for today's video. Again, I do hope you found today's video to be educational and alarming. I hope I have turned your eyes and your attention to something that you may not have been aware of, that you need to be aware of, and that you need to make other people aware of as well. So be sure to share this video and tell them, ignore the dragon costume. You know, I really wasn't thinking about that until halfway into making this video. I'm talking about a very serious subject, something that's very important, and I'm dressed as a fucking green dragon. But it is St. Patrick's Day, so appreciate everybody for taking the time to tune in. I saw that you were live, D100th Monkey. I saw that you were live. Let me know when you get a decent setup where you can do a live stream with me or a recording. I use StreamYard. So you would need to have good internet, and I would love to do it where it's on camera. So I think via the last email communication we had, I wasn't sure if you had everything set up. So hit me up and let me know you got my email information. Hat, I appreciate you tuning in. It's good to know that you haven't had a bank account for 20 years. And I mean, I'm thinking about closing mine up because, I mean, I have a Cash App and PayPal, and they both have technical bank accounts included with that. So I have considered it, but Truist Bank is one of the better banks. Actually, while I'm talking real quick, I'm going to download a graphic before we wrap things up. Since we've been talking about banks, and I've been telling people to make sure that you're not leaving more in than you can lose. And it will show you a little graphic about some of the banks, the major banks, and where their position is at currently. Okay, so I just downloaded it. Now I need to come over here, and I need to get rid of this comment. Upload an image. My downloads. There's the image. It's uploading. And here it is. So what you see on the screen there, tighter credit conditions are coming. All banks to the right of Silicon Valley Bank are likely to immediately start reorganizing. Let me get rid of my logo there. Their balance sheets. This is the percent cumulative assets. That is Silicon Valley Bank. I'm not sure if you can see my mouse. You probably can't, but where the arrow is, that is Silicon Valley Bank. Everything to the right is kind of fucked. Most of the things to the left are not so fucked. It did surprise me to see Morgan Stanley to be on the fucked list. But you'll notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Number 7 is Truist with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like 8 or so banks in between Truist and SVB. So this gives you any indication of what's going on. And what Janet Yellen said and what I just shared from that CNBC article, and what I shared about the proposed amendment to the Uniform Commercial Code law, you should be a little bit alarmed here at this point. Wake your fellow man and woman, your fellow brother and sister up. Make them aware of this. Contact your politicians. Get in touch with your governor. Get in touch with your state legislatures if you're in one of those 24 states. And if any more are introduced, I will keep everybody up to date on what's going on with this BS regarding the UCC trying to redefine money to not include Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, but to include and make way for the central bank digital currency. And why this is such a big deal is because if this is adopted as a uniform commercial code law, then Bitcoin and cryptocurrency will be excluded from any sort of business transaction and commerce. They can't kill peer-to-peer, but they can stop you from using your Bitcoin on Amazon or at Walmart or whatever the situation might be. So think about that. Thank you for tuning in for today's video. Smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to both my channels. Puff, thanks for keeping so much information coming in. I appreciate you for watching, and I appreciate all your support. We'll definitely get together soon, my friend. Definitely a crazy graph. Hyperinflation is a lock. I'm going to leave you with this, as I always leave you with every video, a little positivity, a little something to inspire you. Be a blessing to others. Treat people how you want to be treated. Be the glitch you want to see in the matrix. Be the change that you want to see in the world. And until next time, practice change.